Always keep coming back here. Oh well. Hey, hello. Welcome back to Minetest gameplay of sorts. Yes. It's a beautiful day out in Chicago. It's always a gorgeous day out in Minetest world. As you can see, we have some questions answered. This episode, we're going to look at what I've done so far since the last episode. So, if you like what you see, please consider liking and subscribing. Get back in the water. Yeah. Go from there. So, real quickly, we will answer some questions while taking a nice little flyover. Wait for everything to load in. There we go. It's a nice hazy morning. We had a couple questions come in. First, an update. I did open a GitHub account to get the world exported, but it's gonna take about a week. It's just very busy, and I'm still looking into the authentication problem. So if I save the world and it's saved under my password, there is a way of changing said password to a generic password, and I could do that. The other thing is, see if I can get this right, because it's right off of here. The other thing was the, there she is. Look at that. It could be a he. Who knows? They always say that. Why? Cars. People name their cars. This is Betsy. She's a reliable old girl. I'm sure. Gonna name my Toyota Corolla. This is Bob. It pukes on itself. There. Beautiful sunset. I extended the house out a little bit on each side because it just didn't feel right. Which is one of the questions that came in from George. Said, how do you judge your dimensions? And there, believe it or not, there is a scientific ratio. It's called the golden ratio. And my source, one of my sources, is Wikipedia. Wikipedia, the golden ratio, and it should be noted that this article is about the number and not to be confused with the pop music album or the calendar dates. Back in the day, I was front of house sound engineer for 2 local Chicago bands, which did produce original CD content, and one band is listed in the Library of Congress for the trade copyright stuff. But I got to play in a real studio and do all studio things and all that fun stuff. But the, who would name an album the golden ratio? Unless you were like out of college and you had a band and you were a mathematics major. Doesn't sound good. But nevertheless, basically it says here in mathematics, 2 quantities, quantities are in the golden ratio, and in their ratio is the same as the ratio of the sum of the larger of the 2 quantities. The figure on the right illustrates a geometric relationship expressed mathematically. Basically, it's 1 to 1.61. Now, and it also goes on to say everything in nature has this kind of golden ratio. The pyramids, mathematics, buildings, the Taj Mahal, other famous buildings. I had another page, freshhome.com, and it basically how aesthetically pleasing something is to the eye. And on home.com it says it brings balance and height. One One of the simplest ways to impart a sense of balance to a structure is based off the principles of the golden triangle. To explain, it is simply a golden rectangle signifies a shape that can be wholly divided into a square and a rectangle that, when combined, establish a ratio of 1 to 1.61. Okay. If an architect wants to make a structure large or smaller to accommodate their client's needs, as long as they follow the principles laid out by the ratio, they will have the ability to alter a building's proportions with just a few simple calculations. All right. There we go. And that explains it. And I can't really show it on this house. This house is a little off. If you really look at, let's go back to daytime here. And I don't understand a lot of what I just read. Sure. I think I made this part, I don't know. It's just a little, you could tell that something's not, it's pleasing aesthetically, but it may be, I may be pushing the extreme boundaries of the golden triangle rule. Yeah. So let's go back over to the real world. So that house is coming along nicely. And we'll go down the shoreline. That is just so cool. Underwater laboratory. It's cool. Because I did make more headway. I still haven't touched that. I played with it. Walked around it. Does that count? One of the things about the golden triangle is, and I've seen it in architecture videos, it's the relationship between the sink, the refrigerator, and the stove. So if you put an imaginary line here, it works. And if you look at your own kitchen, so I'm going to make some assumptions here because I really don't know what I'm talking about. So I'm working at the stove. I need some water. Need an ingredient. Back at the stove. Wash my hands. No, out of that. So there's it really does work because, like I said before, when I made this house, I had to lower the roof by 2 blocks because I thought I was doing this grand, kind of building, and it didn't look right. And once I lowered it 2 blocks, everything fell into place. So where I didn't use mathematics to do it per se, I didn't purposely sit down with a piece of paper and draw out the equation. And I'll link those 2 articles in the show notes. But it fell into that. So, yeah, that's how I just basically look at the dimensions of something and judge whether it's aesthetically pleasing to me. So if this house were, wow, look at that leg. If this house were only 2 sections, this would be way too high for the 2 sections. And that's how I do it. So this house is done. I'm done. I put a fork in it. Ow. And I knew that I really thought I was low enough that it wasn't going to matter. You come in. Yeah, we've already been through that. But we've already been through the other side. We'll take just a quick walk around. Storage, bathroom, guest or second bedroom, a little play area for the second bedroom area, guests, nice skylights, the Apple room, Apple computer, Apple tree. Yup. Do I have that in my inventory? No, I do not. It's going to add a towel bracket. Nice little TV area. We come over here to where we have the balcony, and just a very, very simple seating area. Nothing major. Then we go to the other side, because I'm waiting for the big reveal. And this is a little bathroom with storage for everybody to use. And then this area is sealed off. You can't get there from here. You need a boat. And here's the master bedroom. Very simple, very sleek. I demolished this area like 15 times, just trying to come up with whatever. And to me, it works. Here's the master bathroom. No tub or anything like that. Little storage wardrobe. It works. I'm not pleased with it. I tried. I have enough room here to do almost anything I want, but I'm still playing with it. But that's only for the master bedroom occupants. Nice little love seat. Little wall art until I get my pictures done. Dresser with drawers. And then the original house idea had this overlook, an open area. So I opened it up at the where the beam was. And I'm missing a section. But it doesn't really matter. So there's a little two block patio which overlooks the court, you know, the landscaping, and lets fresh air in. And there's the sun. So I am pleased with it. It could use a little more, but yeah, it's didn't want to keep messing with it. Every time I had different layouts and designs, I was going to extend the house, and decided, no, you know what? Very minimal. It has storage. It has everything it needs. I could always even put a desk in here. So this house is done until I decide to start tinkering around with it. And this house has a lot of cool ideas that I instituted to make real cool. And it added more texture to this area here. So I did accomplish a few things. Few little setbacks, but it is what it is. So let's go take a look at Gigantor, the Oasis house, and fly off into the distance. Look at that. Let's come out over here. Now, yeah, it's working. I dressed up the shape of the outsides, so it does look kind of cool from above. That little area is nice. We'll take a look at it. We'll come in through the back. But I made the actual house, the actual building more aesthetically. Now, I thought I was low enough. Aesthetically pleasing. This side of the building, it's a big building. I almost, when the overhead shot, one could say this is almost like a, it looks like it could be an airport. I like that shape. So on the sides of the building, this back and this side all have this kind of futuristic shape that, like in the 50s, they were going for. And I'm going to try to find a link to, I really want to try to build this. Yeah, there used to be a bunch of, there was like a housing startup back in the 50s and 60s. And this guy made UFO houses. And there's only a few left in the United States. They never took off. But it looks like, it looks like a UFO. And most of them now are abandoned or, relegated to the junkyard. But they were made out of fiberglass and metal and everything. And I would really love to live in one. I would really love to have one. And the thing is, and I was talking to some other people at work about it, we were talking about houses and container homes. And they were like, well, how can you live, how can you use a container to make a house out of it? And if you go on Pinterest or some architectural websites, you will find a whole slew of container homes. And these are made off of used shipping containers, new or used. And they're perfect. They stack them, they weld them together, bolt them together, whatever the case is. They're very affordable ways to live. And you can deck these out to be really anything you want. So you want to add a whole room or a wing, you buy another shipping container, and they're only like $2,000 to $5,000. So you get 4 shipping containers, that's $20,000, a little plot of land, and then you just tinker around and build it. So I would really, really love to look into something like that. And I copied my, I didn't build it. I copied it in our version of World Edit and then just placed it here. That is so cool. And I changed the wood design, obviously, because you can't kind of put the same design anywhere else. So the sun's going, sun's going down. I'm going to show the house and then I'll show how I did that in World Edit real quick, because it really worked out. Come around the backside of the pool here. The pool turned out really cool. The shell of the house is pretty much done. I'm debating on whether to put a second floor on there. So we'll go, I will check that out. And all my cactuses grew. I cut that one down, but it's growing. And, health and safety regulations require a fence around a pool. And we don't want our guests to fall off into the void here or to hit a cactus, because you can take damage from a cactus. But you come over here and we'll go into this wing. This wing over here is going to be bedrooms and rooms this is going to be a corridor in the back. So, and there's going to be some more supports to make this look more real. And then all the rooms over here will share this common window. So everybody can look out, because the views are absolutely amazing. Look at that. Loaded up too many chunks. I was playing around with different clay colors. That's not yellow. I don't know what. Yeah, I guess so. I had orange highlights in the house in the ends, because I saw this kind of shape for the end instead of doing the standard ends that I usually do. And it did look good, but I wanted to bring this whole, all the sides had this kind of portal window kind of deal, but I wanted to open up the front windows. And on this other wing, the back windows also mimic the front. So you come into here and you have this grand kind, look at that. You get the moon through the skylights, raise the fountain up. Yes. I'm still not sure on if I'm going to keep the sandstone blocks. Now, underneath the cactus, they all grew. That one grew back. They'll grow if you put sand underneath them. So they will grow indoors, and they don't need any water. They're cactus. So everywhere I put one underneath them is sand, and now they're too high. There we go. We'll just do that. We have to prune our cactus. See, I really do like the way these windows turned out. So you come over here. Look how cool this looks at night. So far, with the added interior, and there's the Glasshouse. We have this recessed seating area because elevation change is good. It brings depth, so they say. But I have this open fire pit with extractor fan and chimney. And it allows the user to sit here, relax, and chill out, and look over the little garden. So inadvertently, without knowing it, but I'll claim that I did it on purpose. This is the Oasis house. So what I've done is I brought in the desert with the cactus and the water, the Oasis, and here I have grasses and shrubbery, a little tree, and a cactus. In a nice little ornamental like flower garden. Because I had to try to figure out what to do with this little lip that I created when I added this end on to the house. And this overlooks the jungle biome. So it's real cool. You could walk around. This house is so big. This is why I think it's like a airport terminal. You could probably run laps around this and get your 10,000 steps in, every day. Nice little skylight. Yes, the chimney actually goes up through the roof. Look at that. So there. That is just so cool. Now, over here, there's going to be another chill out sitting area. This is going to be definitely an open design. There's going to be a kitchen, formal dining room, and it's going to get more formal as you get to this area here. Well, more formal in the center with the dining and then, the kitchen. Because imagine walking from the bedroom all the way over here. So you got the master bedroom, which is at the end, and you want a midnight snack. So you got to walk all the way over to here. And then walk all the way back to there. You have to be a billionaire and not work just to... it takes longer to walk through the house than anything. So the solution to that, 2 kitchens. We're going to have a mini kitchen over there. But it's getting there. This is not ideally what I was going after. It's start. It kind of cries for a second floor. So I'm going to be looking into that to making this area better, because it does need something. I don't know what it needs, but it needs something. But it's real cool. I'm happy with the way it turned out. I did use a lot more shape, and not just the standard, and it was a hassle getting some of these shapes and everything to play well with each other, and then make the translation to the front square windows. And my circle turned out to be it looks like a stop sign. Yeah, it's got 8 sides. I have to work on my circles, but I really do. The whole thing is this little area that kind of ties everything together. I really do like that. And I thought about putting carpet squares on top of here, but I really do like the way that openness. So let's come over here. This area could use a picnic table. I'm going to gently come down. There we go. Let's see. Yeah, I can Oh, look at that. That's pretty. Little prairie. Look at that. You got like an 8-bit Mario art rhubarb with everything else. I don't like that. So, on the world edit, on our version of world edit. So what I did is I made a copy of the set. So where you want to place the set, you place a number 1 using world edit. And then we are going to go back into, we chose position 1, go back. We're going to save and load. And I called this, oh my God, I can't remember what I called it. All right. And through the magic of editing, I remember what I called it. How embarrassing. It's called a patio. Going to save load. Patio. Oh, no. I made a mistake here. And you see what I did here? This is going to actually bury it. So what we're going to do is we're going to place a piece of a block right here because we want our, you could also do get set region position 1 here, which would have done it where I'm standing, but I want a little more control. So there's the 1. We are going to go back, go into save load, type in patio, and we are going to load it. Bam! Look at that. We loaded a patio. How cool is that? So, let's go reset our region. And you can tell how lazy I am because all these commands, you can go up in here and type region, reset and stuff like that. And I just don't do it. I don't know why. But when I selected this over from the Glasshouse, basically I put a block here and that was my position 1, and then came to the other angle here, other side here, and went up to get in everything, and then position 2 here. So it should have, oh, you know what? It does help if you choose position 1. And you can see where we have that little fun thing there. And then so after you make sure that everything's in that you select, because you want to get everything in, obviously, and everything is contained in that little box, then you go back in and you go your load and save. So we're going to call this patio 1 and save it. 71 nodes saved. So that works out greatly. So, and the one thing a long time ago, a couple of months ago, there was a question of a person, I can't pronounce his name, Farragut, Minister Farragut was asking about building a hotel and copying and pasting rooms. And that, you could do that. Anything that's placed where that 1 is looking, if you remember when we were looking at it, it had the 1. That's how it's going to paste it. And that's how I chose to save it. But there's also, in here, copy and move, which works out really cool. So you can move a region or, copy a region and then move it. So let's say I want to copy this in the look direction. We're looking forward. We have to go back because we have to set a region. So there's my region 1, and real quickly, yeah, we can do that. We can do it. We have the technology. Choose position 2 here. Let's get a little creative here. So we can go Oh, there it is. Copy move. We are going to move this 20 blocks, and we can do it any axis we want. We're going to do it the look direction, and we are going to move the region. That is cool. And you can also use positive and negative values. So you could actually raise and, yeah, you can raise and lower depending on the axis you take. You have your X, Y, and Z axis. If you remember your number lines. And then the look direction. So that's how that worked. And I've used that several times to correct stuff. So, you know, so we're going to come over here and choose position 2 here. Go back in real quick because we're done playing with this. And we are going to set nodes to air. And it's gone. So that's how that works. And I've used that a lot of times to get myself out of some, oh. Forgot where I was. So that's it. It's just a quick little video on what I've been up to, what I plan to do. And I think I answered all the questions I will have in the show notes about the golden triangle. Oh, and there was a comment. Eddie says the Enterprise is large, so it would be probably a city on the ground, and it's completely self-contained, so that it would work well. It would work well. However, I don't know to take on. I mean, look at this thing. This thing was, you'd never even, you wouldn't be able to get it all in, you know, because you have to turn off, if you don't have a humongous computer or graphics card. Because if you really tried to do proportionally or make it real, you know, real life, it would never work. Well, somebody might do it. It would work, but it would, the amount of time that it would take just to get it right. So what if they had shrink ray technology and they shrunk it down to a proportional golden triangle calculated distance? It would look cool. I mean, you could have the front part of the ship, and then, you know, the pods on the sides are elevated. That would be totally doable. Yeah. So on that note, it didn't grow back yet. It sometimes is that quick. On that, we are going to leave it there. That is just so cool. And wrap this up. Real quick, short episode on what I've been up to and what is planned. Oh my God, I thought I was lost again. And this house is still for sale because I'm not giving up my headquarters. But yeah, I'm satisfied with it. It works. I'm going to continue to play around with it just to get it. I hate that. I'm looking at you, fish. They're jumping fish. They will actually come out of the water. All right. So, again, if you like what you saw or seen, please consider liking and subscribing. It's greatly appreciated. Keep the comments coming in. They're great. And we will go from there. So, everybody, and thanks for watching, and goodbye.